Hi everybody, so today I wanted to do a quick video for you guys, and I've tried to film it so many times, but hopefully this time it will work. For some reason it's not uploading to my computer. Another thing, sorry for my naked face, I just got my septum pierced, which is actually what I'm talking about in this video. I figured why not talk about it. I just got it done and I love piercings, I love anything body mods, so I figured why not let me tell you guys my experience, and then maybe later on once it's healed or as it's healing, I can give you guys updates on how it's going, how healing processes for it, and anything like that. So as far as the piercing itself, if you don't know what a septum is, it's actually coming back into fashion lately. A lot of people may have seen like the faux like septum clickers, which are really popular now. Just septum piercings in general are becoming popular. I noticed a lot of people getting them not only just by themselves, but like with a nose ring, like a standard nose ring, like in kind of like in a pair. I actually have both sides of my nose pierced already. If you want to see my full piercing video, I will have that link below as well as somewhere in this video for you guys, so you guys can go check that out. But as far as the septum piercing, it is completely different than the sides of my nose. At least for me it just was not the same experience whatsoever. So in my nose, obviously, it's a smaller gauge. I believe I have an 18 gauge in my standard, like both sides of my nose. For this one, it is the 16 gauge, which I believe is standard for all septum piercings. I do not plan to stretch mine. You can stretch yours. I have never stretched my ears. I've never stretched like my lip or anything that is possible to stretch. I've never done that, so I don't want to start off stretching my septum. It's just not my thing, but it definitely is possible if you were looking into that. I don't know how that works. You'd have to ask your piercer, but I do plan on keeping it at the 16 gauge, which again, I believe is the standard gauge. So the actual sizing for mine hangs down really low. I don't know what a standard sizing would be, or if your piercer would have multiple options. My piercer only had these, the 3/8 of an inch as their standard like starter size, so that is what I got pierced with. The actual piercing itself, if you don't know, it goes through the center part of your nose, like the center piece of skin or cartilage, and it's supposed to go through the sweet spot. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like if you feel up your nose, and your piercer will stick their fingers up your nose and feel around in there for a good 5 minutes to try to make sure that they know where they're going to be placing the piercing. For mine, my piercer, she said that my cartilage ridge or whatever, I guess, I don't know what it's called, but basically my cartilage was a lot higher up than most people's, and the space for my sweet spot was actually a lot smaller. So it took a little bit more time to get the piercing into place, but other than that, it was pretty easy. I honestly don't think it's a hard piercing to get. Pain-wise, I personally can equate it to my daith. If you've ever gotten your daith, my rook wasn't as bad as my daith. I don't know if it was because it was like on an opposite side or what have you, but my daith actually was a little bit more painful. I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, in my opinion, and I feel like I have a pretty high pain tolerance, I'd say it's around like a 5 or a 6. It is a little bit more painful just because I felt like the actual piercing itself was harder like to get through the skin, if that makes sense. When you do your nose, it's kind of just like one straight shot. This one, it kind of seemed like you really have to, or your piercer really has to like push to get it to go through. It sounds worse than it is. It's really not painful at all as far as like piercings go. I really don't think it's that bad. If you are thinking of getting it, I definitely recommend you get it, because honestly, piercings aren't that bad and they're over in a second. So what I did after I got the piercing done is obviously I did flip it up. For me, the flipping up is mainly just because the piercing itself is too long. You can flip it up or have it down when you're healing. As far as my piercer said, it's no difference whether you keep it up or keep it down. You just want to keep it in one spot for the duration of the healing as much as you can. She said it's okay every now and then if you wanted to bring it down or put it up, but you want to kind of keep it in one spot so that you don't irritate the actual piercing itself. Anything else that I can think of? As far as me for cleaning, I am going to be cleaning it the same way I clean all of my piercings, which is just plain old Dial soap. I use like the bar soap. This is just Dove soap, but I use the bar Dial soap just because it's what I have on hand. It's easy, it's cheap, but the liquid soap works as well. I find for me, especially around my nose area, salt soaks or sea salt soaks don't work for me. Sea salt for me, no matter how little I put, always tends to dry out my skin, and my skin is very prone to drying out. I don't know why Dial soap works, but it works for me, and you know, as long as it works, I'm gonna keep using it. I haven't had any, you know, adverse effects. I do recommend you take the advice of your piercer though, unless like me, you notice that maybe one method is not working for you. You may want to try something else. For me, liquid or bar soap didn't make a difference as far as antibacterial. You can use any other brand, but I just figured Dial's like the most popular, it's the simplest, and it's cheap to get. So that is what I use, and I just kind of clean around the piercing twice a day, and then later, once it starts to heal up, I'll clean it about once a day. So as far as pain right now, which is a few hours after getting it done, the pain is not that bad. I took a few ibuprofens to kind of help with swelling. My piercer did say that swelling is going to be an issue for around 2 to 3 days. She said you may find you are swelling, so I'm gonna keep taking those just to make sure that the swelling doesn't get too bad, because I noticed for me, I swell a lot when I get piercing. So if you notice that, just kind of keep up like a healthy regimen of ibuprofen and Advil just to make sure that your swelling doesn't get too bad, because I know when I had my industrial pierce, the swelling got so bad that I actually had to split it up into the 2 bars that I have now. I kept them because I like the way that they look, but I had to switch it out because the swelling was actually going over the balls. So you have to be very careful with swelling, and you want to watch it and make sure that it's not getting too out of control and that it does go down within a reasonable amount of time. So I'm going to watch it for the next few days. Obviously it's still fresh, so I do expect swelling for a few days, but definitely keep an eye on it if you are somebody like me who's prone to swelling. Other than that, there's no pain. It stung for about half an hour after I got it. I think it was more due to the fact that I had got it and then flipped it up and kind of messed with it right away. Other than that, it really isn't that bad, and I'm hoping that it's smooth sailing all the way around. I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning of this video, but I am planning on getting a tattoo in the next couple days. I have an appointment on March 30th. I think I'm in the right month, March 30th. And I will do kind of an update video on that. I'm not gonna like film it getting done or anything like that, but I will give you guys like an update and tell you guys about that, because it is my first tattoo, so I'll give you guys like a whole experience on that. If you have any other questions about any of my piercings, if you have a question about the upcoming tattoo, which I will have a whole separate video on, so if you want, you may want to hold out for that. But if you have any questions, you can leave them in the bottom bar below, or in the comment section below. You can also email me. My email is dollypop23@gmail.com. I do also go on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr, so if you want to follow me on all of those links will be in the bottom bar. Don't forget also to thumbs up this video and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this, sharing with you guys my experience, because honestly, piercings, body modifications, tattoos, any type of thing like that, I am like so crazy interested in, and I think it's really fun. I don't know. It's really different because everybody can get their septum pierced, everybody can get a tattoo of like the same thing, but you all kind of combine it differently. So like I may have the same piercings as you do as far as like what's on my ears, but obviously we're not all going to have the same combination, and it's not going to look the same on all of us. So it's really cool to see, you know, how everybody changes up their own style and how you kind of, you know, tweak and do your own thing with these types of modifications. So I absolutely love them. If you want to share any of your stories with me, definitely let me know in the bottom bar, because I would love to hear other stories about this, because I'm always researching and trying to find new cool things to do, and then also just to like see, because some of it's just really cool to watch. So I hope you guys enjoyed again, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody!